The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Okay, who's the bigger icon really? Travis Kelce or Thatcher Demko? Canucks fans, I think you know the answer.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also a Canucks writer with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into today's episode, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks because it is your Canucks every damn day. Part of that Locked On Podcast Network. They're doing the most for sports fans across the world. And again, we appreciate you for tuning into our show. We're not here without you. We're also not here without those sponsors. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Start the season with a big return on FanDuel. To place just a $5 bet, and you'll go start with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Man, oh man, it's been a long time, but Thatcher Demko is going to take the crease again for the Vancouver Canucks. Maybe not tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets, but he's back on the bench, and he's almost ready to rock and roll. What does that mean for the Vancouver Canucks? What can we expect from Thatcher Demko in an environment where a goaltending is as bad as it's been in 30 years? What? Let's talk about the Demko return, what it means for the Canucks. We'll also get into the trade market for defensemen because there were some ripples in that earlier today as well. We'll also preview the weekend ahead for your Vancouver Canucks. Before we do all that, let me introduce my co-host. He's got no mic. He's got no pants, but he's still here. Cal Bhawan. How's it going, brother?
You're right, man. No microphone. I'm currently recording this from my home, right? Straight out the iPhone. It is what it is, okay? Sometimes you got to play the backup role like Thatcher Demko is tonight. Straight up. A bigger return to Vancouver than Taylor Swift. And this dude is not even, again, playing the actual game. It is what it is. And what it is a big moment. That is, if you take it for all the good in the situation, because I'm out here thinking like, yo, why is he the backup tonight? Why don't you just play him tonight? I'm a little confused. You know what, Trevor? Maybe they want to test out if he can sit down for 3 hours without injuring his papillitis pomperitis. You know?
that might be it. The popperitis, eh? It's every Canuck fan knows all about the poplaritis now. So again, it's been a long road for Thatcher Demko. The guy has played 3 games since February of last season. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm all for him not starting tonight. Let him just ride it out. Again, the Canucks are not in a imminent rush to bring him back. Lankinen has been one of the better goalies.
Ride it out. Ride it out. What are you talking about, Trevor? Ride it out. He's been out forever. It's time for him to start playing games. And maybe, again, Trevor, sorry to cut you off, but I'm just getting emotional. It's like, it's pretty clear that, again, this Vancouver Canucks team not playing perfect hockey, playing a bit harder, but not playing perfect hockey. This is still a team that very much needs their goaltending to steal them games. And I think it's the best time, actually, for him to come back and help Kevin Lankinen on just that, having the Canucks win games because of the guy between the pipes, whoever it may be, is Vezina-like game in and game out. And I think Lankinen needs some help right now. Like this is the one strength of the Vancouver Canucks, 5-on-5 offensively, they're not really there. They don't really have 4 lines of offense. Obviously, you got question marks around their defense. I think it's exactly the perfect time for Thatcher Demko to just get back into Rogers Arena and help Kevin Lankinen out. Like it's now. It's now or ever. Never.
Holy Kyle, you're throwing the heat, man. So I'm hitting the button. Beggsy versus Bhawan.
Okay.
So Kyle Bhawan thinks Thatcher Demko should start tonight and every game for the rest of the season. What? Maybe you're not quite saying that, but I'm all for taking the slow road with Thatcher Demko. I mean, look, the Canucks are barely past the quarter-way mark of the season. And Kyle, what have we said time and time again, right? What matters for this team is the playoffs, is the postseason. Let Thatcher Demko get comfy. Let him play in a third of the games, maybe half the games. Who cares? As long as the Canucks are in a playoff spot, what matters is that Demko is getting closer and closer to his peak form potentially by the time we reach the playoffs. And look, it's the elephant in the room that everybody knows. We're not sure what we're going to expect from Thatcher Demko here moving forward. again, with the Popliteus injury, no NHL player, never mind goaltender, has had this injury and has come back to play games in the NHL. All right. So we are in a completely unknown situation with Thatcher Demko right now. And everything we've heard and that we know about the injury is that it's not going to go away. He's going to have to learn to play with the pain and manage the pain. And yes, I know every player plays with pain. But when you're talking about a goalie who, again, has been close to a 60 start per season guy for the last couple of years, just take it easy with him. And as Mike Alcarout saying in the comments, Demko's injury prone. I don't think he'll ever be the same. What? No, don't say that. But
damn.
I think that there's a lot of that sentiment in this Canucks fan base, which is, again, I'm all for taking the slow road with Thatcher Demko. We are on December 6th, not April 6th. Take it easy, man. Sit back, relax, scratch your sack on the bench for a bit. I know it's hard to do with the big mitt on, but just do it, man. And Kevin Lankinen, he's been more than fine for this team. Again, he's been above average so far this season. Average save percentage in the NHL so far is 900. It's the lowest it's been since the early 1990s. Unbelievable stuff. Or the mid 1990s, I should say. Kevin Lankinen with a 906 so far this season, but in 7 home starts, he has an 872 save percentage. So I would like to see Kevin Lankinen get off the schneid tonight. This Columbus team, this matchup, we'll talk about it a bit as the show goes on. We talk about a team playing their second game on the second day of back-to-backs, their third game in 4 nights. They're 3-8-2 on the road this season. This should be theoretically the perfect time for Kevin Lankinen to get some of his mojo back at Rogers Arena.
Yeah. But the bigger story is Thatcher Demko. Again, Kevin Lankinen needs help. It's time. It's time for Demko and Lankinen to just split starts, man. If you're good enough to be the backup, you're good enough to play games, Trevor. Come on. He's ready. He's healthy. Straight up. Again, like it's time. It's Demko time, and it's right now, and it's going to be Sunday. You can't tell me you don't think it's a guarantee that this guy's playing at 1:00 on Sunday, right before Taylor Swift does her third show in Vancouver. You know what I'm saying? And like, again, Hronek out for 8 weeks. Vincent Desharnais going to be averaging 17 minutes a game. Like, Thatcher Demko is needed more than ever. And again, I'm not saying that he needs to play like 2/3 of the starts. I think the whole 50-50 thing is perfect for him right before the playoffs. Maybe give him like three out of the last 5 games of the season just to warm him up properly. But again, I don't want to say that the Canucks are desperate to bring Demko back, but we've seen Shilovs and we've had enough of that. And that breaks my heart. I sound loyal for even going. I sound not loyal for going there. I've had Shilovs back the whole time, but I just feel as if going into January, going into the Four Nations Cup in February, like the Canucks are still not there yet. And they need to have confidence. They need to have swagger, and they need to have their goaltending supplying most of that. Okay. Because I still think this team needs a bit of a runway for this, this new era of the Canucks to like, be fruitful, you know. Again, we haven't seen a lot of full 60-minute games. We haven't seen 4 lines going at it, playing fluid. Obviously, I brought up the deep. It's just, again, I think in order for the Canucks to survive the next 20 games of the season, they're going to continue to need, and people are maybe listening to this and maybe hear pessimism from my voice. Hey, it's just the ebbs and flows of the season. But again, in the next 20 games, I think they're going to still need similar type of goaltending in the wins that they've accumulated this year. And that's like Vezina-like goaltending. And I think it's quite obvious that Lankinen can't be, starting 5 of 7 games or 10 of 13 moving forward. Like, he's not that guy. And it's, again, time for Demko to, be a huge part of this team. He's already been a great teammate off the ice, and he desperately wants to be that great teammate on the ice now too, and deliver wins and help the boys out. And I can't wait to see it. Now, Trevor, do you think that he like not rushing himself back, but he knows what's in front of him, right? Like the Hronek injury, I don't want to say pushed him back into the lineup, and like the Shilovs buffoonery did so as well, because again, this was kind of like on par with his timeline. All that being said, you can't tell me that's not a part of his internal motivation to help get back in the lineup and help out the boys. Like, the team needs it.
Well, it's interesting they say that, Colin. I think these comments from Rick Tocchet about Demko's return say a lot. And Rick Tocchet said today, quote, "He's a leader on the team, and he's a different type of leader. Just him being around, he's just a glue guy. The guy works awfully hard. He spent a lot of time by himself working out, and what's contagious for me is the hard work he does. The young guys see how dedicated he is. That's the stuff that really helps out the locker room." And that kind of ties into what Andrew's saying in the comments here as well. Demko on the bench is a +10 to team hype. And that's exactly what Rick Tocchet's saying. So to me, it doesn't matter whether Demko starts tonight. It doesn't even matter to me if he plays on Sunday against the Lightning. We know he's close to returning. And the Canucks, they absolutely have to ease him into this because, again, we're dealing with a pretty unknown situation in terms of an NHL goalie playing with his injury. And what matters ain't December. It's the goddamn postseason for your Vancouver Canucks.
I know. It is. But again, if he's the backup, you know what I'm saying? Like, at any given point, this guy could be thrown into the game. Like, what if Lankinen gets hurt, right? You best believe that this guy's healthy enough to play full games. Like, he's back. He's back. So again, I just wanna like dive deeper into that. Like, why do you think he's not starting today and he's gonna probably get the start against Tampa Bay? Is that like a swagger thing? Like, you know what? We're not gonna shelter Thatcher Demko. We're gonna throw him to Tampa Bay, a team that just scored 7 or 8 or 9 against San Jose yesterday. No, genuinely speaking, like, what do you think the logic was behind that? Because it's not to do with health or it's not about playing it safe. If he's the backup, he's healthy to play. So why do you think they chose again? Not tonight to name him the starter. I'm a little confused on that. Break it down for me.
I'm pretty sure the number one reason is a lack of practice time, right? I mean, there was reports that he was going to play maybe towards the end of the road trip, and then the team just never practiced. So.
But then why is he the backup? Then why is he the backup if there's lack of practice time?
He's
like,
ready.
He can get hurt again.
He's ready. He's in game shape, but he hasn't seen a lot of NHL pucks, right? And you even heard, I don't know if it was Demko or another goaltender talking. I think it was Demko. I talked about facing shots from like Henrik Sedin and Sergei Gonchar in practice, which seems like, oh man, look at those all-stars. But then you face, today's NHLers in a practice and it's a different vibe. It's a different feeling. So Demko just hasn't faced a lot of NHL shots from players, even in a practice environment right now. And oh, by the way, he hasn't faced that for the better part of the last 10 months, right? So again, I think it's a lack of practice time. And again, just quickly before we cut to break, looking ahead at the homestand here, here's my prediction on what I think is going to happen with Demko. And now that I'm going to say it a lot, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be wrong. But, the Canucks on this homestand got the Blue Jackets, the Lightning, the Blues, the Panthers, the Bruins, and the Avalanche. On this homestand, I'm going to assume maybe Demko plays on Sunday against Tampa, weird time, 1 p.m. game, but I think he at least plays by the Blues game on Tuesday, December 10th. Also wouldn't surprise me if he plays the Bruins again against his alma mater, Boston College, but play the Boston Bruins next Saturday, December 14th at Rogers Arena. So I think Demko probably gets at least 2 starts, maybe even 3 on this homestand, 6-game homestand. But my guess is going to be that he doesn't play until the St. Louis game, but he obviously could play in the Tampa game.
I think there's a small chance that like the whole schedule or the whole calendar for the Vancouver Canucks when it comes to their goaltending can like go a little sideways or get a little confusing if one of these guys get hot. Rick Tocchet is that type of guy, yo. I'm not saying he's Mr. Dangerous or he doesn't stick to the plan. I just think he likes to tap into his instincts, and he also believes in the best case for the boys that he employs into his lineup. Like, we could all be scared about Demko getting hurt again, but if Demko, within the first 10 games of him coming back, whether he's the starter or the backup, has 2 shutouts, I could definitely see this guy get 5 or 7 starts. And all of us are going to be like, oh my God, he's going to get hurt again. But bro, we can't just assume that. Let's assume he's back. He had the best Papalitis surgeon in the game. And his Papatius is way better than anyone's Papatius Prosperitis than ever before. And he's that dog. And I want to talk about more of this after the break, and let us know in the comments below. Also, I did drop a link to the stream in the Discord, so if you want to join in the conversation, head on over to the Discord and just click the link. Let me know, Trevor, again, after the break. What if? Let's be positive here. What if he's back to Mr. Vezina right away? You know what I'm saying? Then it's smooth sailing going into April. Because we've already seen what the Canucks can do with good goaltending. They can pick up wins. They can stick around. Next thing you know, Quinn Hughes with a point shot. Pettersson's back. Boom, bam. We won't miss Hronek that much. Maybe Miller can take some more time before he gets back in the lineup. All in all, though, I just think I'm excited to see if, again, Demko, when he's back, what if he can be Hellebuyck right away? It's going to warm up my heart. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Boom, bam.
Yeah, that would be nice. We'll talk about Demko on the other side. We'll also talk about the trade market here. Again, with the trade market heating up on the defenseman side of things today. Again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. We'll be back on the other side after shouting at our friends over at FanDuel. You know the deal, baby. If you're betting on sports, you got to go check out FanDuel, okay? Get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets all in one place, baby. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view the live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. And who knows, Kyle, maybe you and I will be degenerates at the bar tonight, maybe degenerates at Rogers Arena, placing a few bets on the Canucks versus the BJs. If you're looking at the line for tonight, the Canucks definitely favorites against a tired Columbus team on the road. If you're looking at the puck line, the Canucks to win by 2 goals, that would pay you plus 112. So $10 bet will get you 21.20 back in return. Again, that's betting on FanDuel. Make sure you go check out FanDuel, okay? Get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
People, we back doing this again. Kyle Bound with no microphone. That's why Trevor cut me off there, because we want to provide that quality, and I don't have the sound, but Beggsy does. That being said, we don't give an ish. Okay, sometimes you just got to go with the flow and follow your heart. And I want to be warm right now and be in bed. All that being said, tonight, me and Beggsy, a couple brewskis deep, watching the Canucks. Dreams do come true. What are you looking forward to, buddy?
Well, I think we should leave it up to the commenters, actually, because we still haven't bought tickets. But, there's some good deals out there based on our friends at Gametime. Should Kyle and I go hit up the Canucks game at the Raj tonight, get some cheap tickets, or should we go watch at a bar? I'm still on the fence about that, buddy. What are you feeling?
Well, wherever the road takes us, man. I'm not too worried about money, because money will always come back. You can't stress, man. You got to be open, and you got to live your best life. You got to experience what you want to experience. And I kind of want to experience the bright lights. It is what it is. Go into the building, watch a game with Beggsy, see what happens. I'm down with that, man. The 60, 70, the $80 will come back in no time. Anyways, let's read some of the comments before we get into the deeper conversation about this game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. There's some emotion in the comments today, okay? Look at Lane Stanley. Or Lane Staley, my bad. I thought you were named after Stanley Park, but not that cool. Anyways, if you don't like the Canucks and you want them to do bad, just leave. We don't want you here. I guess the comments are going off. And James S replies back, I'm here because Kyle is awesome and one of the best ish talkers and takers out there. I know how to take ish. Trust me. I grew up in Surrey, okay? And I don't think you want to send away the few people watching this channel. Were you taking a shot at us? A few people? Bro, 30 people to me is 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people. No, straight up, Trevor. It's the holidays. I know we got a lot of hockey to talk about. But I always got to tell the people, man, me and Beggsy are blessed. We're living the dream. We appreciate every single one of you. Beggsy and I, you and I don't talk about this, but I feel as if our friendship's gotten a lot closer because of the show. And for that, I'm truly grateful. I don't care for like the 18th or 20th or 50th my bad, I swore. Best podcast out there in the Canucks universe, it don't matter, because in the moment, this just feels right.
Yeah, 100%, buddy. I love doing the show with you, and again, we're like twins, man. We're like brothers, so it's figure that one out. Again, Mike in the comments saying, "Don't go to the game. It's the beer cost is way too expensive." Hey, I'm kind of all for that. Plus, you got to pay for tickets as well. I'm switching gears here though and go to a comment from GV because I want to touch on this. Who is the top D-man on both of your trade lists now? As of today, Jacob Trouba, a guy we mentioned in rumors in the offseason, was traded today to the Anaheim Ducks for Urho Vakanainen and a 4th-round pick, but no salary retention by the Rangers. And I think when we talked about potentially acquiring Trouba in the summer, for that to even be palatable for Canucks, the Rangers would have had to retain half. So the fact that they got out of that deal scot-free, I mean, Jacob Trouba, I think, brings something to the table. I don't think he's just some washed-up AHL level defenseman. But there's flaws to his game, and he's certainly not worth anywhere near $8 million. But to circle back to GP's question, maybe I'll throw it to you first, Kyle. Who would be some of the top defensemen or the top defenseman on your trade list right now?
Damn. Honestly, man, I don't think it's going to happen, because I think, St. Louis with the new head coach and whatnot, and a bit of culture there. I don't think they want to necessarily suck, but you got me excited about Colton Parayko, man. If there's some math to be done there, and there's some salary retained, and there's also the hope that he doesn't turn out to be like Tyler Myers, I kind of want that. I kind of want that experience, man. Some of that Team Canada swagger too. That's a bit of a pipe dream. But even this morning, I was thinking more about Marcus Pettersson, and I feel like we've talked about him a lot on this program. But the more and more we see Niels Höglander do nothing, the more and more I feel as if I'm not trying to get so close with him, because I've definitely not wanted to trade Höglander. I feel as if there's still a bit of outlier potential there. There's still a young player there. Trading him for a rental seems a little scary, but I don't know, man. If it's Pettersson for Höglander 1-for-1, do you do that this year? What do you say, Trevor?
I wouldn't. Like, there's like Marcus Pettersson's a steady defenseman, but there's not really a lot that excites me about the player. Even if it's just straight up for Höglander, and I think the Pens are trying to probably trade a first-round pick. That's not a deal I would do. Again, we'll go pipe dream and realistic for me. I think the pipe dream one. How about the defenseman the Canucks are playing tonight against the Blue Jackets, Zach Werenski? I mean, if that guy were to ever become available, I mean, that guy's an absolute stud of a puck mover.
That ain't happening though, man.
No, that one's not happening. So that's why I was going pipe dream. I mean, the Blue Jackets are bad, maybe. No, I don't think that one's realistic. But in terms of the rest of the D market, in terms of guys right now who are really thriving, I do really like Jake Wallman of the San Jose Sharks. He's a left shot guy. I know Canuck fans might cringe because he did the gritty against us with that OT winner when he was with the Wings last year. But he's playing big minutes in San Jose right now. He's nearly a point a game guy. His defensive metrics are not terrible considering the role he plays on that San Jose team. So he's a guy I'd be interested in as well. And it's hard not to look at the Calgary defensemen in Uyghur and Rasmus Andersson. Again, they would cost a lot. Mm-hmm. But I think they're both incredible defensemen and would really add.
Yeah. But we've talked about those guys so much, and like I think even in recent history, I'm kind of on the wagon of like not using this year to expend more futures, like more first round picks and more like the Willander talks to the Lecker Mackeys for even one more year of Rasmussen after this, if he was a guy that we get. I just feel as if this team they're not there yet. Maybe they're not there yet because they're missing a defenseman like that. I don't know, but a part of me thinks that they kind of need more. Like a part of me feels like they may need 2 more defensemen. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still a couple pieces away from being really, really, really legit. And until they prove that they can be the better team in the hockey games they play for like the majority of a 20-game stretch, then I just kind of want to stay away from anything super uber expensive. I'd rather this team kind of make a minor trade, and I'm all in for winning the Stanley Cup ASAP, and I think the top end of this team is full of a lot of talent, an extreme amount of talent, right? Again, especially if Thatcher Demko returns, right? And he's a dog. That means you have Demko, Hughes, Pettersson's playing really good again. Miller's going to come back with a lot of FU. There's still potential for this team to get a little lucky and make a long playoff run, but I don't know. Just it's hard to win the cup, man. And I think we're one more year away from going all in again. IMO. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm gonna battle back on that one because I think this management team, they have a propensity for making the big move. We saw it last year. We saw them do it early. I think right now, again, if Demko is anywhere close to former Lankin and keeps this up, JT Miller comes back and looks good. You still got a team that can realistically compete for the Stanley Cup this season, but they need at least another bona fide top 4 defenseman. And Kyle, I'll throw this one point to you, and we'll cut to break in a minute here. Again, listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. Carson Soucy, I think he's looked better the last couple of games. Mm-hmm. If Carson Soucy can actually be the top 4 defenseman that many were projecting him to be earlier this season, does that solve some of the Canucks blue line issues for you? Like if you got Hughes Hronek, a top 4 level Soucy, and then acquire whatever top 4 defender you want to acquire. I mean, to me, that's a pretty good looking top 4 on top of a pretty good looking forward group on top of a pretty awesome goaltending tandem.
Yeah, and you know what, man, Trevor, I'm not going to be pessimistic towards that notion because going into the season, and that was 24 games ago. I thought Carson Soucy was that guy, right? So who am I to say that he can't be that guy? And to be honest, bro, I liked what he did against Minnesota. Confidence is a hell of a thing. Momentum's a hell of a thing. And let's hope. Let's pray. Let's pray to the hockey gods. Let's talk about optimism and optimism only. Like, you never know. That could have been a springboard game for Carson Soucy finding his game back again. And the Canucks need a lot of things to go their way. I would say to just be a contender. I think this team at their floor doesn't need everything to go their way to make the playoffs. So, like, real talk, they've went through a lot of obstacles so far this season, and they're still, according to some models, like a shoe-in for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But for them to get back into contender status, kind of like the energy that we had early on in the season, I feel as if something like that does have to happen. And like, let us know in the comments. Like, do you think that's a bit of a miracle or a bit of a stretch to truly believe that Carson Soucy can come back to form and ultimately get better and be this number 3, number 4 defenseman that we thought he was?
Yeah, again, I'm still a little skeptical because he's never really done it throughout his NHL career, but that would be a big bonus to the Canucks. And the guy, I mean, remarkably has looked better alongside Noah Juleson compared to how he's looked with Tyler Myers the past few games. Kyle, let's cut to a quick break here, get to some comments, and tee up the weekend ahead. Again, you're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day.
People, we back. We doing this. And I'm laughing because I read some of the comments and they're just ridiculous. Okay, guys, keep it clean. Keep it clean in the comments. I know me and Trevor, we're like, look at this show right now. I'm recording this in like a bedroom, okay, right now, and it's dark in here and I'm cozy, okay? It's not that serious of a show. I get it. But can you please keep the comments a little clean, okay? Keep that ish for the Discord. Lane Staley asking how long is the timeout? The timeout is over. And I'm reading the comments. And you better pick up your act, bro. That was some crazy stuff you said in there. Anyways, Beggsy and Bhawan, the day of Taylor Swift returning to Vancouver. Thatcher Demko returning to Vancouver. This is the big deal. Yo, dude, like, why haven't we talked about it? Are you a Taylor Swift fan? Like, what's going on here?
No, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan in the slightest. No. Yeah, look, Kyle, I'm proud of you for recording in the dark. I mean, you can even see the stains on the wall, man. Unbelievable.
Whoa, no. It never gets freaky like that in this bedroom, bro. Trust me. I play it safe, boom, bam. Simple. I'm a simple man, bro. 7 minutes. It doesn't get that crazy. On the walls. Come on, bro. You crazy, man. I'm brown, bro. I don't got enough money to paint over the. Come on. Anyways, where am I going with this? Oh yeah, Taylor Swift. So you know what? I'm not gonna lie. You don't seem like a Taylor Swift fan though, because you're such a music. Like, even though I kind of work in the music industry, you're just such a music purist. Like, just a music critic. Like, that's why I don't talk about too much music with Trevor, because I feel like I'm gonna get judged. Because like, this guy just has like the craziest ear in the game. So I feel as if you find Taylor Swift a little what, corny, a little too poppy for you. Like, why aren't you a Taylor Swift fan? I mean, you got a wife, you got a daughter. There's some connection there, maybe. Yeah. Well, why aren't you a Taylor Swift fan?
I don't know, man. Just from the songs I've heard it, and I as you get older, and I think Kyle, most guys in their 30s, you might start off as only like 1 or 2 genres, and then you're like, by the time you hit 30, you're like, oh, I like everything, but there's obviously favorites. Every time I hear Taylor Swift, it's just like corny music for 15-year-old girls. Like, I don't know what to tell it. I'm a very feminine man.
Wear short shirts. I wear skirts, stand in a t-shirt, sitting up bed. That song, right? I think I was right.
I'm gonna put you in a timeout, man. Unbelievable.
Anyways, man.
Enough about Taylor Swift. Yeah, the Swifties are downtown tonight. Kyle and I, maybe we'll be drinking with the Swifties at some bar.
Okay.
I'm Swifties tonight. Who knows? But let's get to some comments before we get out of here and talk about the weekend ahead. This is making me think that maybe we should go to the game tonight, because James Moore saying 85,000 Swifties across the street singing, dancing, and taking up all the parking will make going to the game tonight a mess. But James Moore is still going because real fans show up. And Kyle, for real fans, maybe we should show up too.
Well, James Moore, if you see us, come talk to us. Don't be shy, man. Straight up. We just Canucks fans, man. We're not podcasters. We're not reporters. We're not members of the media. I'm just a Canucks fan. Again, we've had some new fans over the recent history, right? We need to resurface that conversation sometimes, because there's always that lingo about people who talk about the Canucks and they're like, oh, maybe you can't really be a fan of the team because you want to make sure your bias is thrown away and you want to be analytical about the team you talk about and you want to analyze the proper way. It's like, no, F that. I don't give a ish, bro. Go Canucks, go. They're going 82-0, then 16-0 in the playoffs. That's where my heart is at, okay? So, James Moore, if you see us tonight, buy us a beer. I mean, I'll buy you a beer. That's what I meant to say, okay?
Oh, that's too funny. And the Canucks tonight, again, going up against a Columbus Blue Jackets team. And, some of their leading scorers are names that aren't super familiar. And, I think one of the interesting things about this team is they're kind of led by a couple of Russians at the top of their lineup. And one name in particular, it's Kirill Marchenko with 10 goals, 24 points in 25 games this season. He's the leading scorer among forwards on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Yegor Chinnikov as well. He was injured. It looks like he is not he will not play tonight against the Canucks. But he's got 7 goals and 14 points in 21 games. And then a guy I really like watching, Dmitry Voronkov, 6 goals, 11 points in 16 games. So Columbus is stacking up on these Russians, man. I believe Voronkov and Marchenko are on a top line with Sean Monahan. So, again, not the most exciting draft tonight. But at the end of the day, again, this is a tired Columbus team. They've won 3 of 13 road games. They got one of the worst goaltending tandems in the NHL, although Merzlikins has played better. I'm not going to say – is it too much to say it's a must-win game for the Canucks tonight?
Bro, it's Friday night. You guys suck at home. People are going to have to deal with traffic to get to the arena today. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, make it count. Make it worth it. Stop playing games with our hearts, okay? Stop playing games with my heart, Remember that song? Anyways, just, again, on this homestand, play complete hockey and beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. Beat the teams you're supposed to beat, play competitive games against Tampa, Colorado, Boston. Hey, go 4-1-1 on this homestand. That's what we deserve as a city, especially during the holiday season. And to surface back onto your conversation about this being a must-win game, yes, on the Taylor Swift weekend, we're going to make sure that Taylor Swift knows that this is not her city. It's not her city. It's the Canucks city, okay? Relax, Taylor Swift. You shutting down the streets? No. You know why the streets are shut down? It's because Columbus is in town. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, man, oh man. So you're not a Taylor Swift fan either then. Good job, Kyle.
He wears short shirts. I wears T-shirts. Swimming in the...
All right, that's enough of Kyle there. Putting him in a timeout for the rest of the episode. I've had enough of that, man. But in terms of the weekend ahead, the Canucks also play Tampa Bay at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Tampa, they kind of gave it to the Canucks a little bit last time. I know it was a bit of a better game there. But Kyle, how do you feel about the team playing a 1 p.m. game against Tampa? Like that's a game that kind of worries me a little bit.
You already know what the deal is, though. Trust me, I've seen the videos. And something just tells me, I've had my glasses on this whole time. Something just tells me there's a lot of Taylor Swift fans on the Vancouver Canucks team, and that's why they got that game at 1 o'clock, so that they could play the game and then afterwards go to the Taylor Swift concert. You think I'm lying, bro? You think I'm lying? I'm pretty sure your publication, Daily Hive Vancouver, they wrote an article about Jake DeBrusk not finding the tickets to this concert. So they're interested. It's gonna happen. All in all, though, it is what it is. It's Sunday. It's holiday season. We've seen that before, Trevor. I'm not gonna get mad at it, right? I'm not gonna get completely mad at it. The 1 o'clock start on a Sunday at home, not the worst thing in the world.
All right, well, I'm glad that you're feeling good about it. Let's get to one more comment from Melanie Moore before we get out of here. Lank the Tank should play all away games, and Demko plays all the home games. Ooh, Kyle, I mean, Kevin Lankinen has .872 save percentage at home and a .927 save percentage on the road. I think there might be some validity to that. What do you think?
Well, I brought this up a couple episodes ago when I was like, damn, maybe to take care of Thatcher Demko's knees, you can have him sitting down less by not bringing him on road games because Lankinen is so good on the road, right? That being said, look at what they're doing tonight. This is this huge pay-per-view event. Thatcher Demko returns. Taylor Swift, take a back seat. Who cares if you're back? Thatcher Demko is back, and more specifically speaking, he's the backup. Like the NHL released a little picture like, oh, he's back. The Canucks. Thatcher Demko was back. And in fine print, it's like he's the backup. Okay, the most hyped backup return of all time. On that note, though, maybe they're testing out his knees, like I said off the top. Like, can he sit down for 3 hours? I think so.
That's unbelievable. And here's an unbelievable stat before we get out of here. So Thatcher Demko in his career on the road in 102 games played has a .904 save percentage. So not bad, about league average. At home in 117 home games, he has a .919 save percentage and 6 shutouts. Thatcher Demko is the home king. Kevin Lankinen is the road king. Melanie Mora, you are freaking onto something there. Unbelievable comment.
Oh, I gotta say something. I gotta say something, and we'll end off on this note. Like, again, we've had a fun episode today. Sorry about the video quality. Sorry about the audio quality. We'll be back after the game to talk about the Canucks in Columbus. Okay, we'll find a way to get to a studio after the game ends. Beggsy and I, we promise. Okay, and we'll give you the quality. That being said, speaking of quality, close your eyes, Canucks fans. Close your eyes. Okay, Beggsy, you close your eyes too. Remember, Thatcher Demko missed a lot of last season during the second half of the season. He played one game in Winnipeg, and then he played a playoff game against the Nashville Predators, probably not at 100% on home ice. And remember how good he was in a pressure cooker situation? Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the first playoff game in Vancouver in 47 years, and he was on his A game. Made one of the saves of the playoffs in that game. That is the dude who is your goaltender, and I believe his Papatias Paparitis Pepto-Bismol is 100%. And the Vezina winner, should have been winner if he was healthy, is back. There you go.
All right, time to get the heck out of here, man. Shout out to Thatcher Demko. Shout out to Kevin Lankinen. A special shout out to you for tuning into this episode of Locked On Canucks. From the first-time listeners to the everydayers, we love each and every one of you. Kyle and I will try to find a way to be back for the game. Kyle, I'm booting you out because I can hear you chewing or the feedback or something. Unbelievable stuff. If you like what we're doing, make sure you go subscribe and like this on YouTube on the podcast side. Go follow us and leave a good old 5-star review. Again, you've been listening to Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. I'm Trevor Beggs. That was Kyle Bhawan, and we'll catch you next time.